Now, I also want to touch on not just how we work, but who is doing the work as well, because what we're seeing is a real shift away from the traditional permanent employee. We're seeing the rise of the gig economy and much more flexible employment models. But because of this, we're also seeing new jobs emerge. And it's not just the smiling instructor in Japan, right? So the Daily Oz, some of you might follow them on Instagram. They're a social first news platform. They recently hired a 19-year-old chief of TikTok. And if you go to the city of Athens in Greece, they recently hired the city's first ever chief heat officer to help the city respond to the effects of climate change. So we're seeing the emergence of new roles. We will continue to see more, just like we've seen the rise of prop tech within the industry and more agencies using virtual assistants or freelance stages as well. And then naturally, with so much changing around work, the skills that we need to do our jobs are changing significantly as well. And there's a lot of research out there around this. But when you cut through it all, basically what it says is we need to be spending 15% of our working week upskilling and reskilling just to remain current. So not to get ahead of the game, 15% of our working week must be spent upskilling and reskilling just to remain current. So in terms of what those skills are, on the one hand, there's AI literacy, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in detail. But on the other end are the skills that make us uniquely human. And that's where I really love this study by IBM that we can see here. So IBM tracked the value of core skills over time. So irrespective of your role or industry, these are the core skills that we all need to have. And if you go back to 2016, the number one skill was proficiency in STEM. The number two skill was basic computer and software application skills. Then you fast forward to 2023, those two move to the very bottom of the list. The number one skill, time management and the ability to prioritize, followed by things like working in teams, communicating effectively, a willingness to be flexible, agile, and adaptive to change. A lot of the themes that we heard about yesterday, yeah? So as leaders, you really need to think about A, how do you role model and build these skills yourselves? But B, how do you provide the time and space for your teams to do this? And that's where your role as a leader is changing. It's really about being a coach and a mentor. How do you go about building a feedback culture? Because you can't just send one of your employees on a half-day course and they come back and they're like, Ben, I'm now certified in emotional intelligence. How good is that, right? It takes time and it needs you as a leader to provide that ongoing feedback. It can't be something that we save up for an annual performance review.